I hope you're doing well. I got me a nice big mold. I think this is about 14 inches, and I poured water in it to check it out. That's how I figure out how much to use. I'm going to be using some counterculture micas and other mica, some crushed glass, some shell bits, and Bombay ink, and white pigment, and I'm going to use thick viscosity artist resin today. I typically use medium viscosity, but it's going to be the thick viscosity. This is going to be a clock, and you'll have a clock mechanism behind the back, so I really do not want this to be too clear. And instead of mixing my pigments into my resin, I'm kind of going to just keep it to the Bombay ink and just keep it like to a tinted resin. I'm going to put pigment powder, which I've never done this before. I'm going to brush pigment powder on the background and try to cover the whole central part of the clock with mica powder. And then I'll pour my tinted resin over it, which will still be kind of transparent. So I'm going to get busy and fast forward through this. It might take me a little bit. It will take me a little bit, I know it will. I'm going to actually mix two colors together at first. Okay, so I've got that spread on, and hopefully that'll keep a little bit of that transparency from showing behind. You wouldn't believe how wonderful this feels with your fingers. It's amazing. It is so soft and silky. It's unbelievable. So I'm just kind of blending a little bit because I don't want any hard lines. It takes very little powder. I thought I was going to need way more mica powder, and it just takes a little bit on your brush and you're good. And before I get mixing, you do equal parts A and B, exact amounts. So I always mark my cup and then pour to the same exact measurement on my cup. And then I'm going to mix it for 6 minutes. I'm going to try to attempt to do this all in one layer, but we'll see if I like the lacing effect I get with the waves, if I'm happy with that, how it all looks. Okay, going to start my timer. Okay, I've mixed for 6 minutes. Okay, I used some of my mica powder from here and the resin down here, which is fine. Up here I want it to be more transparent, so it doesn't matter if I have some mica powder in it down here. I mixed I've got about 2.5 to 3 ounces of resin in each cup. This one is teal, blue, and blue with violet, so progressively deeper. And I've got my white mixed up in a very small amount that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to put clear in. So let's just see what happens. So I like it. It didn't do exactly what I thought it would, but you know, with resin sometimes it really doesn't unless you've done it over and over again, a certain technique. But I think it's pretty, and I think it'll be pretty when it's unmolded. The mica kind of shifted into the clear a little bit, and that's okay. I kind of want to, you know, go through it a little bit, but I don't know. It kind of messes up the wave pattern, so I still think it's pretty though. So I'm going to cover it, let it cure, and I'll be back. And I used every bit of about 14 or 15 ounces of resin, so this actually will take more than that, I do believe. I'm going to spray it with some alcohol. That just kind of pops any more surface bubbles, and I can't wait to see how it looks. And I will have to do another coat on top before I take it out of the mold if I decide to do that final layer. So I will be back. I actually really like this the way it is. I was thinking about doing a thin top coat. As you can see, I still have a little bit of room but I think I'm going to unmold it and keep it the way it is. I'm just too excited to wait. So, see how these little plastic beakers that I love so much, you just squeeze and the resin pops right out of the plastic. Love them. And then I found these little thin silicone stir sticks, and you just literally just bend it and the silicone comes right off, and you can use them over and over and over again. Okay, I put gloves on just to make sure I didn't do anything funky to the surface. And this is going to be one where definitely the top side is always going to be pretty much your finished side. So there's the back side with the mica powder brushed on. Isn't that cool? So it's not as see-through because there's a black clock mechanism that will go through, and see, I won't have to really worry about it showing, and then whatever wall color you have will show through. So let me put this down flat, and you don't have to worry about numbers, which I have spent a fortune on clocks, finding the right size numbers, the right size hands. I've got lots of hands. You have to adhere them with super glue or something weird. So, voila! I love it. It is, you know, a quarter of an inch or so, a quarter to a third of an inch thick. And I think it looks awesome. Still didn't get my lacing on the waves, and I'm thinking maybe because I used thick viscosity and the white sunk. I don't know. Or maybe I still use too much pigment, but I like vivid colors, so I'm still very, very pleased. I will let it finish curing nice and flat, and then I will add the clock piece in the middle with the hands, and then I'll show you the finished results. So there it is. And see, I used the turquoise crushed glass up here. I used the clear and added some white into it, and then the seashells along the bottom, the crushed seashells. I think it turned out lovely. I'm happy. I'm so addicted to resin. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye.